Very excited to have Kristofer Skyttner from Dynamaker with me today. So we had the podcast a couple of months ago, and that's all good interest. But what's always important for visual solutions is that you not just talk about it, that you see it, right? So that's what we want to do today. We want to talk a little bit about the capabilities that Dynamaker offers. And I think what was also causing some questions, at least that's what I saw on my side, was what is parametric configuration basically? And then I want to hand it over to Kristofer so that he can talk a little bit about that, clarify first what it is, and show then how that applies to 2D and 3D models.
Thank you, Frank, for having me. It's as you say, always good to show when it's talking about visual stuff. So I'll gladly give some sharing here on stuff how to make it. So the Dynamaker cloud service that we build here is a mix of the visual stuff and the CAD technology, and we use it for visual configuration. And this is one way to make it easy and make people, the customer, understand how a product can work. Visual is very, very fundamental for buying things. If you're buying something simple like a t-shirt in small, medium, large, you use much images and pictures to use the visualization. But for complex configuration, many visualization technologies struggle because of the vast variation of things that can be visualized. So high variance products. And this is what we have solved with the Dynamaker. And we use the parametric technology coming from CAD to handle this in the browser. So let me share my screen. I can show a little bit while we talk about what is this type of technology doing with things. So I'll share. So the Dynamaker cloud service, it's available on dynamaker.com. Here it's a software as a service platform that we've tried to build according to state of the art. With pricing and subscription, and get everything started by yourself on the homepage. So the engineers and technicians out there could sign up tomorrow and start working for free. So it's a try out before you buy platform that we have created here. And we do the visual configuration for e-commerce, product configuration platforms, or customer portals. In a way where you can just plug this in and power up your web and online technology. And the two main benefits here then for the visual stuff is when you work with a product that can be made to order or made to measure, seeing what this means when you change something and getting that feedback directly is crucial for understanding what it is for a junior person coming in to buy it, or a new client or a new distributor, because this is something that is hard to imagine for many. And we do this with the parametric technology to make sure that it's not 1 million variant models being fetched here. It's one parametric model, same way as CAD technology is working, that instantly changes when you interact with it. And the second part of that is, since it's based on CAD technology that we developed, you can get a lot of CAD automation out of it. And that means when I have this visualization, I can instantly generate a quote drawing or a BIM file or a CAD file from what I see. This is not to be confused with the internal advanced CAD technology. You all have all the big files, all the secret stuff. But for sales and e-commerce, getting a quote document with technical specifications or a 3D file with the quote can really enable a lot of sales for this type of cases. And we see a lot of companies struggling with having internal tools for this. So somebody calls your sales, they will open a CAD program and just disturb an engineer to build these things. And that takes days to complete because you get orders every day. So we see you can offload a lot of time and efficiency by having this automation directly in the CPQ. And when it comes to this type of technology, we usually try to explain it in steps. As I mentioned earlier, with if you're buying a t-shirt or something simple, you can go with no visualization for some cases. Then you're at the first level. You can just figure out by the text what it's doing. And then people add images to their e-commerce. That's the first level of complexity. You don't need Dynamic for that. You can just swap images in your e-commerce or in your CPQ, because then you will have one picture per variant in your shop. And then some take the step to having traditional 3D visualization. There are lots of game engines out there that can do that, having one model per variant and just keep uploading more files. And the level we have designed our Dynamaker for is the final level here, when you need a little bit of CAD power, a little bit of sales CAD, as many of our customers refer it to. Then you have so many variants that it's impossible to just keep uploading files. Then you need a parametric model explaining how things go together, how things fit together, and what happens when I do the changes. And this is what we have built Dynamaker for, to model, to work, to host, and to plug it into the e-commerce and the CPQ platforms.
And let me ask one question here, Kristofer. So how much effort is that from a customer point of view to go from no visualization to the sales CAD the way you've outlined it here? You have any timelines behind that, that they see what kind of effort is required to get to the next level?
It usually can be done pretty fast, because what we see is that the heavy lifting is getting your configuration models in order, getting your CPQ platform set up, and all these rules and logic that you need for the product. When that is in place, you essentially just need to connect it to the proper visualization parts. So we usually see companies start within a few days and complete within a few weeks. And there's a section on the homepage around this, which we call implementation, where we recommend having step-by-step approach to quickly get something up in your CPQ or commerce. And this is usually 50 to 100 hours for your first project, which means many small and medium-sized manufacturers can afford starting with this type of technology, because even if you have to model a little bit, it's usually a very fast way of doing it if you tackle it in a smart way.
And also one additional thing, I think, just to make clear the difference between a visualization that's integrating with CAD solution and one that doesn't. So what CAD solutions do you integrate with?
And that's the fine part with the Dynamaker. You actually don't need any CAD solution to get the CAD power, because we come with our own core. But if you need it, you can still combine it with most traditional CAD softwares, because you can send the files and the data structures to pretty much any software, as long as there is an API to fetch it. We support having an API for merging step files and these type of things out of the box if you need more of that capabilities. But to get things moving and running on your homepage, you actually don't need any more CAD integrations to get sales up. You still need the CAD software for your internal R&D and development. You just don't need it anymore for driving sales and orders.
Got it, got it. No, I was just wondering what, like SolidWorks, if a customer can integrate with that if they want to out of the box.
No, the usual approach is it's a CPQ and the ERP, which is the middleman here, and we can provide the file structures for SolidWorks if they need it, and then they can pick it up. But it's very little integration required to get that thing working. So we don't have any standard solutions for that. So.
Got it, but at least it's possible. So, and if anyone has more questions, they should talk to you directly on how that works with all the standard CAD solutions.
Absolutely, we have seen it many times over. So
perfect. So then let's go to one other topic, which I think is very important for any customers who is interested in visualization, is how to show that on a website, right? So if that's your own site, if you have a commerce store, tell us a little bit more on how your solution integrates with making these visualizations available for end customers or whoever is using it to buy the product.
I'll start by showing some customer examples to see how they have applied it. And we will start with the user case when you want to have it very accessible online. So you maybe don't even have a login. You want to use it for lead generation and getting customers exploring your product, so it can be turned into an opportunity and then a quote along the way. So if I take this type of customer, this is a company who do modular housing called Expandia. They are very good with having configurable modules for making big facilities. And they have, unfortunately in Swedish here, but they have a headline which I think explains it pretty well here. It says, "Design your new office in 5 minutes." So their angle on using this type of tool on their homepage is that they want to make it really simple to engage with your product and configure it in minutes to get your needs into the system. And that will be, even for complex products, then an enabler for new customers or existing customers to do more. So in this case, they have Dynamaker embedded on their homepage directly here as a lead generator together with a product configurator, where they use 2D, because it's enough to start with a 2D visualization for many cases. And as long as I change something here, their modular system is calculated based on how many seats do I need, how many office meeting places, how many conference room. And this is, of course, not covering all that they can do, but it's enough to get people excited about working with their modular system. So they can say like, yeah, I want 2 levels, or I want 1 levels, or I want resting rooms. So in a very, very easy way, they have used their complex product and made it accessible for the masses. And this 2D, we can model them in Dynamaker. It can also be combined with 3D because it's, in our way, it's the same modeling, same way of working. It's just a way of showing what you need. So the 2D can be enough for some cases, or you can easily mix and match it with the 3D and keep building. And a customer like this then would like the customer to visit, do the interaction, do it fast, and then say, hey, I'm interested, tell me more, or give me a quote. I can show another example, similar case, but for a more smaller product, stainless steel countertops. So this is a company who uses it for both, as you asked for the lead, because on their homepage, they have a rich product information. You can explore and see how the product works and lots of integrations and stuff with other things. But what they have is made customization very highly accessible on their homepage. And when I find a button saying, hey, I can customize this, they will run a product configurator directly on the homepage. In this case, they have kept it very, very simple. So you're not aiming for impressive product pictures or something like that they already have, but they want the user to easily go in and make a made-to-measure countertop, choose between the available sizes they actually offer, interactively, even in 2D, furnish your product, maybe plus put some parts in with the mouse, but it's very, very guided, so you cannot do anything wrong. Let's put a sink in there as well, see what's happening. And then when I'm done, I can choose some extras. I add it to my checkout. And this means that anybody can now explore this product. They can do it in 3 minutes to get their configuration out. When they add it to the checkout, it can become a quote, because you have to make yourself known, create an account, and sign into their CPQ to get access to the drawings, to the CAD files and the BIM files, because those are readily available thanks to our platform. But it's the key reason to become a customer now is that you want that, and the price, of course, with the platform. So then it started as a lead generator, and then it continues to become a quote maker thanks to the same tool using the visual part and the CAD part in the beginning.
And let me ask one question just to see if that's something for an end customer and you want to have a more photorealistic visualization over here. Would that be possible as well?
Yeah, you can put a lot of shine into it. Absolutely. We have one case where we have more texturing, but the more details you add, the longer it takes to set up. And so if the goal is to explain what your product can do, you don't need photorealism. But if you want to impress it, you can keep adding bushes and textures and materials. But we usually see that this type of customer have these pictures already next to the configurator. So it doesn't really make sense for them to add too much stuff into the configurator because it's part of the buyer journey anyway. But technically, you can add as much shadowing as you like to the visualizations.
Very interesting. Now, then let's maybe go to the last use case with e-commerce usage.
Absolutely. So we can take a look at the customer who uses it directly in their commerce where you want to buy directly. So it's a little bit more consumer facing, but we see more and more of the B2B imitating this behavior that you want to easily buy and quote the products. So this one is a Swedish vendor for making small modular houses in this one. And the product configurator has just swapped the whole image section for an interactable dynamic visualization, which means whenever I send new values to it, it changes the size, computes the price, and all these type of things. And step by step, I will interact with it and I will get the details. When I do things with the doors, I can just drag and drop seamlessly between the e-commerce and the Dynamaker, and I can send instructions back to the commerce. And this makes it super simple for somebody who have never designed anything to build their own products based on this one and just check it out and buy it. And with the CAD technology, then you can make the drawings and a lot of files and pretty much anything you need downstream based on this configuration, which enables a lot of automation and benefits inside the company after the purchase is completed.
Very interesting. Kristofer, thank you very much for taking the time to show all this to us today.
Thank you, Frank.